may have trouble walking, shooting, and playing basketball in general, but unlike Steve Nash, I'll be ready for this season. What's up and welcome to 3 in the Key. I am your host, Ben Allen. Today, we will have our two-time defending debate champion Blake McFarland here to defend his championship belt alongside Brett Ivy and Kirsten Peterson. Plus, former Kansas sports editor and now Cal sports writer for the San Francisco Chronicle, Mike Vernon, will be Skyping in with us. But before we get you to all that, let's get you up to date on what you missed. No baseball last night, but we did have Thursday night football. Peyton Manning and the Broncos faced off against Phillip Rivers and the San Diego Chargers, who broke, and coming up to where we are now, Peyton Manning had the opportunity to break Brett Favre's touchdown record last week, and he was able to add on to his touchdown record this week. Emmanuel Sanders played second fiddle to Demaryius Thomas most of the season, but not last night as he pulled in 3 touchdowns from Peyton and racked up 120 yards on 9 receptions. The Chargers, who started off the season 5-1, would not be able to keep pace in this one despite 3 touchdowns from Rivers, and were never really able to catch any traction against the Broncos defense, who limited them to 1 touchdown in the first half. The Broncos improved their record to 6-1, and the Chargers fall to 5-3 as the Broncos win this one 35-21. As I mentioned in the open, Steve Nash will not be playing this season for the Los Angeles Lakers. Nash, who only suited up for 15 games last season, has been struggling with injury ever since being traded away from the Phoenix Suns. The 40-year-old Nash is back as the injury in question that ultimately kept him out of this past season, and it seems to be the issue here again. With nerve root irritation, he is hurting a lot with his back, and he actually hurt his back while carrying luggage this year. With the injury, many believe the former MVP's career is most likely over. If so, Nash would finish his career 3rd all-time on the NBA assist leaders. The Royals have been nothing but consistent through this entire postseason, but one thing will be different today: the lineup. This is not because of poor play, but because there will be no designated hitter in the National League ballpark. Ned Yost has yet to decide whether Jarrod Dyson will be starting over Nori Aoki, but we do know this: Billy Butler will not be starting. The longtime veteran designated hitter and leader of this team will be used as a pinch hitter tonight, allowing for Eric Hosmer to start at first base. Butler had an exceptional last game where he went 2 for 3 and drove in 2 RBIs. Now, North Carolina and Roy Williams, they're not the only ones that are under some strict scrutiny and examination from the NCAA on what their players are doing inside the classroom. Syracuse University will now be adding their name to the list of teams that will be going under the infractions of the NCAA committee for infractions on October 30th. The university is under investigation for allegations including extra benefits and academic issues ranging all the way back to 10 years ago. Most of the allegations are aimed at the basketball team under the direction of Jim Boeheim, but a few extra benefits allegations are towards the towards the football team. The NCAA will not comment on the pending case. Now, it is time for your fantasy tip of the week. This week, make sure to get the slew of new starting running backs into your backfield rotation. Trey Mason, Denard Robinson, and Anthony Dixon should all be starting and will be going into new roles this week, and they will also be taking a lot of the yards away from their respective quarterbacks. With Denard Robinson, continue to check the status of Toby Gerhart, as he looks like he could be possibly questionable for this game, and he will take some snaps away from the former Michigan quarterback. That's all I got for you today, but when we return, Mike Vernon will be joining us. Stay tuned. Welcome back to 3 in the Key. Now joining me is a former 3 in the Key debater, former Kansas sports editor, and now the man that we are talking to from the University of California for sports, from the San Francisco Chronicle, Mike Vernon. Mike, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. It's great to be back here.
It's great to see your face. You know, it's been a while since we've gotten an opportunity to talk to each other. I miss that shining Mike Vernon smile of yours.
It's back.
It's back.
It's back on 3 in the Key. Long awaited.
Everything's good. So now I've got a question for you. What's it like being out in California?
You know, it's an amazing place to be. First of all, I won't have to deal with snow this winter.
Yeah.
That's a great thing. And basically, everything is pretty laid back. San Francisco is a cool place, very unique. It's got some of the hipster thing going on. I don't know about that.
Totally your thing, right? Yeah.
We've got a couple pro teams. 2 NFL, 2 MLB. It's a great sports town, and it's a great place to be.
What's it like covering Cal football and, well, the rest of the sports for that matter as well?
Well, I mean, Cal Sports is what I do. It's a challenge covering the beat. Cal is kind of a weird place. Berkeley's a weird place in itself. Priorities are different there, perhaps, than everywhere else. There's a lot of talk of academics. That's a very big thing in terms of athletics. So that's all been interesting and new. Cal is kind of a cool place. The football program was 1-11 last year. I thought they'd be a lot like KU. They're not like KU. They're 4-3 this year. They're much better. So I was wrong about that. And the basketball program is on the uptick as well. So it's kind of a cool time to be covering Cal sports.
Sure sounds like it. And like you just said, the KU football team is struggling a little bit this year. You've had some great tweets, I will say, on the entire KU football situation. I'm sure you were glad to move on to right now a winning, school for football. What's your take been like on the KU football team this year?
It's sad. It's sad to see more struggles like this. I feel bad for those guys that have been in the program 3-4 years, and football is such a physical, crazy sport, and these guys are getting their bodies beat, and it's kind of unfortunate that they haven't had anything to show for it. It's certainly a good thing that Charlie Weiss is out of there. It is. Players wanted him out, and people wanted him out, and I think that's a good thing for the program. So at least some kind of steps are being taken, but yeah, it's kind of sad to see.
What do you think about Clint Bowen?
Clint was always great when I was talking to him in years past. He's got to win a game if they're going to hire him, right? I mean, he seems like a no-brainer guy, but he's got to win a game.
So now, obviously, you've got the opportunity to be out in San Francisco, and there's a little bit of there's a neat game going on, I guess you could say, tonight out in San Francisco against a team that you actually are kind of a fan of a little bit sometimes, the Royals. What do you think about the game tonight? What do you think is going to be going on out there in San Francisco in that wild ballpark?
Yeah, it's going to be a win-win for me. San Francisco, Kansas City, I'm happy no matter what happens.
Sure.
It's crazy out here right now. People are so excited. It is a funky little ballpark. I don't know what they're going to do with right field. I think they've got to play Dyson over Aoki.
Okay.
Because Aoki could be a disaster out there.
Do you think that they'll move Kane to right field, or do you think they'll just straight up put Gerard Dyson in right field?
I don't know. I think they've got. My guess would be that they put Dyson in there,
Okay.
but who really knows?
It's all speculation until Ned says something.
Ned Yost knows.
Yeah, Ned always knows.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I heard from an unidentified source that you were at an unidentified location in Lawrence a couple weeks ago. So that's all hearsay there. But of all the stuff that you experienced at KU and all the great moments and memories, what's the thing you miss most about KU?
I could get all sappy about walking around campus and everything, and that's great, and I do miss that. But it's all the people back there, and the social scene is basically a thing that I miss. College is fun. The freedom of being able to make some of your own choices when you're not, working every day and stuff like that is really fun. So it was a great place, and I miss getting to hang out there every day. Miss going to, 14th and Ohio and hanging out around the certain watering holes around there and all that.
Oh, yeah.
All that good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And Allen Fieldhouse.
And Allen Fieldhouse, of course. We'll get you out of here on one more question.
Shusty.
You obviously.
I miss Shusty.
What?
Sorry.
You miss Shusty. Everyone misses Shusty. Well, he's still here, so for now
He's
and
there.
then. But he'll be gone soon. We'll get you out of here on this one last question for you.
Sure.
What is one thing, as a person who, to be quite blunt, got a great job immediately after college, what is one piece of advice that you would give to anyone who is soon to be graduating from the J School here at KU?
That's a good question. I would say do as much as you can in terms of work, get as much experience as you can, try everything, apply anywhere, take risks while you can, because now is when you can do that, and that kind of stuff is going to pay off in the long run. And I got extremely lucky, but I tried everything I could and worked everywhere I could and did little things that covered a high school game on Friday night and maybe missed a fun night, but it worked out in the long run. It was worth it, and also make sure to have fun while you're doing all that work.
Certainly, and obviously it worked out well for you. We miss you here at the University of Kansas.
Yes,
We miss some analysis, and then we miss all that fun stuff. And of course, we miss you here at 3 in the Key.
Right. that I didn't. I'm still upset that I didn't win 3 in the Key last year on that infamous episode.
Oh, you didn't get no redemption.
I'm the real MVP.
You were the real MVP, but we're going to make sure that we get you on at some point. We're going to figure out a way to get you, Schusty, and Calvert all back on together. We'll pull you from all over.
It has to happen.
It will happen. Well, Mike, thanks so much for joining us today. And when we return, we're going to have time for debate. We'll see you in a second. Three in the Key. We're here for debate, and we're hoping that you guys are ready to catch up on a little bit of the debate action. With me today, we have Kirsten Peterson, Brett Ivy, struggling with names today, guys, and our two-time defending champion, Mr. Blake McFarland. Let's go ahead and get you guys right into this, where we have our lovely director, Laura, back there deciding the points that really don't matter today, guys. So let's go ahead and kick it off with question number 1. If you didn't get a chance to see, Peyton Manning was a little upset last night. He had the opportunity to keep calm and keep a level head, but he decided to be a little bit more upset. The video board director for the Broncos last night decided that he was going to be playing a lot of stuff to get the fans pumped up while the Broncos were on offense. If you've never been at an NFL game before, it's pretty loud out there. Peyton was unable to communicate his stuff to his receivers, and they were not able to hear him. Peyton, he was visibly mad at the video director and even had a few comments for him. My question for you guys, was it fair or foul for Peyton to be mad at the video board director?
I mean, I think it would probably be fair if you actually watched the play too. The Broncos got called for a false start that next play. So I mean, sure. I mean, the fans are able to be loud, but if you have a guy like Peyton Manning at quarterback, you got to respect his opinion. Learn how to be quiet whenever he's running the helm.
Video board directors, their job is to create an environment that is intimidating for their team, but on defense, and you have to do it in smart ways. Peyton obviously gets paid a lot of money to be the Broncos quarterback, and he also has the most touchdowns in the NFL. So if Peyton Manning wants the video board to be more quiet when he's on offense, I say do it. I say if Peyton Manning wants to have ice cream for lunch every day at the Broncos facility, I say do it, because he's kind of the man there. So the video board director, kind of awkward, but he has to step back here and let Peyton be Peyton Manning.
I just know I wouldn't want to be on Peyton Manning's bad side in any way. So I think that Peyton was definitely in the right, especially when he can't do his job effectively. I think that the person who's causing the problems are obviously going to be the one who's at fault.
Exactly. And even if the defense would need to be intimidated more, you just look at Peyton Manning's big red forehead and just think, well, you know what? I'm going to be intimidated enough.
And also at the end of the day, what Peyton did about this, he could have done it in a much more subtle way. He could have gone up there and asked him, could have told somebody about this. But the way he kind of pulled this guy's pants down in front of everybody and told him, he kind of ruined this guy's reputation. I think he maybe could have gone about it a better way. And also, come on, Peyton Manning, it's not a scoreboard anymore. It's a video board, man. There's a scoreboard operator and there's a video board operator. They're separate jobs. Get in the lingo.
Well, you brought in my favorite thing, which is obviously going to be Peyton Manning's big red forehead. So the first point is going to be going to Mr. Brett Ivy.
Taking it home, #beat Blake 2014.
Question number 2. And if we could cut to our lovely picture here. Mr. Chris Douglas Roberts of the LA Clippers. You may not know the name, but you're definitely going to know this picture when you see it. Chris Douglas Roberts has decided that he is going to be going with the short shorts look for the entire season for the LA Clippers. We're having a little video problems getting that up right now. But basically, he's going to be wearing the old school style shorts that we saw John Stockton wearing. Oh, there we go. He's going to be wearing it super high up. Hopefully, everyone's a big fan of this. My question, though, is, guys, what do you guys think about the look?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. I love it. More of it. I mean, honestly, I think it's a little disrespect for the guys that wear the throwback uniforms and they don't wear the short shorts. I mean, they did it back then. What are they hiding? I mean, that's kind of a new trend too. You have chubbies out there. Mm-hmm. Now people wear shorter shorts. I mean, soccer players, if you've ever been to a soccer practice, they roll their shorts into their compression shorts, so they are, borderline Speedo for these guys. So I say go for it. I mean, pull it off. Be a trendsetter.
I mean, sure, yeah, definitely. It throws back to the day of Dominique and Magic and like Michael before.
I like shorter shorts.
Exactly.
When I played basketball.
Exactly. It kind of brings me back to my days in middle school whenever they didn't have enough clothes, so little Fat Brett was running around in short shorts during gym.
Little Fat Brett.
Yeah, I know, it was fun. So it brings you back. Good throwback stuff. I think it's a cool trend. I doubt it'll take up around the rest of the NBA, but hey, good for Chris Douglas Roberts.
I mean, if LeBron James does it, then it's a big thing. But I mean, honestly, the shorter shorts, you feel more free running out there. It's better than the baggy ones that get caught up. Now I feel go for it. Short shorts, higher the better.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. The shorter the shorts, the better the player, I think. So I think he's also more effective on defense. And so I don't know. I just think that definitely the shorter the shorts.
But he still doesn't have a
better
national
the team.
championship ring, so no matter what he does.
Exactly. He's always going to be that little bit behind. But good for him. Trying to make a name for himself. Appreciate it. Good stuff.
I don't see how you have any tie between how good you are with having short shorts, but apparently that's the thing that you need to say that to get a point, because Kirsten's getting her first point of the day here.
Oh man,
The champion slagging behind here now, 1-1-0.
Just say that it was destined to be a loss today.
Third question, guys. We've talked about it a little bit already. Mr. Steve Nash, he's not going to be able to play this year, and we ultimately think the 40-year-old's career probably over with. What do you guys think about where he's going to be ultimately ranking in the all-time point guards in the NBA?
Oh, I think he'll be one of the best without a doubt. Like, he's number 3 on the all-time assists right now. 40 years old, still playing the game. 2-time MVP, world champion. He's one of the best. He could have picked any other sport to play too, but he chose basketball. He was really good at it, and I think he'll go in the Hall of Fame easily.
He's definitely going to be on the Hall of Fame. Definitely one of the best point guards, and he did it with multiple teams, which a lot of people kind of underestimate when he's talking about who's the best player of all time. Some guys just did one team, one coach. Steve, he played for the Mavericks, he played for the Suns, he plays for the Lakers, played for the Mavericks again, and then the Suns again. I mean, he kind of just played all over the place. He's a great point guard. He's not the greatest point guard because I think Isaiah Thomas, the past Isaiah Thomas, not the current Isaiah Thomas in the NBA, John Stockton, I mean, he's going to go up there. I think he might be like a Pete Maravich type, really good, but he's not going to be the greatest.
Yeah, I think he's a pretty incredible point guard, obviously, and it's a disappointment to see that he's out this season. And also just due to a back injury, which I think it's pretty. Why can't they get someone to carry their luggage for them? I just don't understand with Jamal Charles.
Maybe he shouldn't be so old. Or
classic Canadian though. Like, if you look at the NHL, most of the guys play in their early 40s.
Hold on, I made that point earlier. I thought Ben should have changed the script. Is like, I can't run, I can't whatever. It says, and I'm also not Canadian, and that would have been Steve Nash. Would have better lead off there, Ben. If you ever need a script writer.
Steve Nash also some of the best point guard hair game in the mid 2000s.
I will say he had a great hair game. I did copy it a little bit. I'll also say he had one of the best alley oops in the dunk contest ever. The header, that was big. I've tried that one on the streets of my backyard with my friends.
Yes.
Sometimes it's been an alley oop header, but it's always worked. It's been fun. Thanks, Steve.
Blake, we're still waiting for you to take on Tyler Self in a game on one-on-one. We're still waiting for this.
Let's go. Set it up. I don't care.
It's going to happen soon, and you'll be able to maybe practice your header from the streets.
I'll just throw it down on
your
it. We'll play 8-foot
backyard or
goals.
whatever you say.
Tyler still won't be able to dunk.
But you're going ahead, Blake, and you're getting your first point of the day. So we are tied 1-1-1 all the way across. Fourth question. KU football, not a lot going on this week. We got a bye week. Can't even get media access to them this week. So we've got a little bit of time to reflect and think about what Clint Bowen is actually going to have to do to be the coach of this team next year. What do you guys think about Clint Bowen going into next week's game and his future?
Well, I think next week's game, I think everybody, I would find it really hard as a player to be motivated to play Baylor when you know you're going to lose by about 40 points. That being said, Clint Bowen, I think, is going to be the head coach of Kansas football for two pretty easy but simple reasons. He's a great leader. I think you can tell that in his press conferences, the way he talks, the way he handles, the way people have talked about how he's handled situations. He's also a Jayhawk. It's been a really long time. I've watched KU football my whole life, so obviously I don't watch good college football. It's been a really, really long time since there's been a Jayhawk as the head coach. People forget Mark Mangino was at Oklahoma before he took the KU job, but he was most known for being an O-line coach under Bill Snyder. So he kind of got this stigma of being a K-State guy. Clint Bowen, he's a Jayhawk. I think he's going to be the head coach. I think at the end of the day what happens is Clint Bowen is the head coach, and they bring in some big shot offensive coordinator, and they pay him almost as much as Clint Bowen, maybe more. But I think he's got the job just because the alumni want him to have the job. I think the players really like him, and the team has looked so much better in a short period of time. I think that they will beat Iowa State, and they will be competitive against Oklahoma or K-State, but Baylor, just watch another football game.
Yeah, it's Bowen's job to lose right now. I mean, he bleeds crimson and blue. Players love him. If you see some players on Twitter like Isaiah Johnson and Ben Heaney, they're all raving about Bowen and what he's done for the team. And so, and of course, he picked Michael Cummings to start, which I think should have been done in week 2 or 3.
It should have been years ago. I mean, he's
exactly.
He's a junior, and he hasn't ever started.
Exactly, and Cummings been killing it. He's one of the reasons why our offense has actually picked up steam, and that was mostly Bowen's decision. So, props to him for that. And, if they do bring in some big offensive coordinator, I still think Bowen will have reign over him. It will still be his team because he played under, like, whenever KU was first turning around in, like, the late 80s. Glenn Mason. And then he was also part of Mangino's staff. He was part of Weiss's staff. You know, he's been part of teams at Kansas that were good.
He's only lived not in Lawrence, Kansas for like 2 years of his life.
Exactly.
He was at North Texas. Another thing about Clint Bowen that is very good with him is that you see him on the sidelines. He's high-fiving people. He's got this energy, this stigma. He's very passionate about being a head football coach. At this point, with KU, it's why not give him a chance? Because you can't do any worse than where you're at right now. And also with the Michael Cummings decision, I think that was more of just something that Clint Bowen has done is that Glenn Mason was really known for this, and Mark Mangino as well, is that they want the guy who's an inch too short, a step too slow, 10 pounds too light, and then they think, well, I can make that guy as good as anybody else. Charlie Weiss, in my opinion, was more about you have to be a 6'4", 210 quarterback. Yeah. You have to be a 6'7", 300-pound left tackle, and if you're not, I won't play you. And I think that really burned Weiss at the end of the day.
Yeah, Kansas has always been like a small guys kind of college for football, you know. Todd Reesing was great. Jake Sharp, you know.
The underdog story.
Exactly. And so when Dane Chris or Jake Heaps comes in, you know, they're not going to succeed because they're under that pro-style thing. Kansas is not a pro-style college, which is a shame. And we've kind of blocked you out.
We have a pro-style secondary.
Yeah.
We had 3 of them in the Thursday night game last night. Mm-hmm. And I mean, also, it kind of goes back to it. Look at all the great key players. They've been underdogs. Chris Harris, undrafted, now he's one of the best cornerbacks in the league. Akeem Talib was not recruited out of high school for off-the-field reasons, but you know, it's like that's who they want. I mean, he was a 2-star recruit because he couldn't pass a drug test. I mean, and now he's an NFL DB thanks to Kansas.
Kirsten, thoughts?
Okay, so I think that Bowen's energy is just completely different than Weiss's, and I think that he really brings a lot to the team. And he's
it helps that he doesn't like waddle on the sideline. But continue.
No.
Right, got
and I agree. And so I just think, like, even attending his press conferences, I think he's an incredible guy, and the energy that he brings is affected the KU offense and defense as it has. So I think he's a really great coach, and I think he should stay.
I still can't get over the fat Brett comment from earlier, and I don't think anyone else can either. So, Brett, you're getting your second point of the day.
Let's go, Hawks.
Going into our 5th question, which is about all of everyone's favorite team right now, the Y'alls. We are going to be talking Royals baseball, but of course, we got to throw a little bit of a curveball in here. This question will be worth 2 points. So whoever wins this question will subsequently win the entire game. All right, guys. We've got Hudson versus Guthrie tonight. We know their strengths. We know their weaknesses. Who goes out and wins Game 3 tonight in San Francisco?
Start it up, Kristen. Yep.
Well, I think the Royals, because first of all, we're great when we're not at home.
We are great.
We are great.
We?
Ooh.
I didn't know you guys were paid for the Royals.
No, I
was quoting her.
Okay.
Quote me. We are great. And so I just think the Royals are going to take it all. I think we're going to sweep the rest.
Yeah, you playing shortstop tonight?
Yeah. So I don't think. I don't think we're going to come back to Kansas City, and if we do, we're going to win that game. So I don't know. We're going to win it all.
Okay. I think that the Royals tonight, they're in a great situation. And a lot of people were freaking out that they lost their first playoff game in 29 years on Monday or Tuesday. And
great stat there, by the way.
Hey, it's true. They had a very long playoff winning streak for 29 years. They had 2 in 85, and then they won, their first 8. They had a 10-game playoff winning streak. But with that being said, they split 1-1 at home, which I think anybody who is realistic thought that's what the Royals and they needed to do. Now you go on the road. You really only have to win 1 game in San Francisco. Then you'd be down and you'd have 2 at home. And then there you go. You can win at home. Tonight with Jay Gutz as your starting pitcher going up against very old Tim Hudson, you think you have a pretty good chance. Tim Hudson is known for, he gives up a lot of hits, and once people are on, they just run. And what are the Royals good at? Running. They have really fast players, and if Gerard Dyson plays in center, he plays in right, or if he just plays tonight, he's going to steal a bag or 2. And that could be the difference. The Royals' running game, I think, is the difference tonight. They win tonight. They win the series. Ben, I'll see you in about a week talking about this.
Yeah, you hit it right on the head. Hudson's old. His move isn't good anymore. He doesn't go fast to the plate anymore, which is a shame. Which is why it pains me to say, but I think Royals are going to take Game 3. They're also playing in AT&T Park, which is huge. It's an NL park. I think there have been 2 inside the park home runs in World Series history. Both have occurred at AT&T Park. So, with that being said, with the Royal speed, I can see them doing that. Gerard Dyson starting, and even Lorenzo Cain starting. I think he's able to do that. So, I do think Guthrie's going to pitch a good game. He pitched a great 5 innings last time. Hudson got rocked by the Cardinals last time. Gave up 4 hits in 6. He's gonna struggle. And I know he's gonna struggle because Royals are a contact team. They're an NL team, basically. They're an NL team playing in the AL, which is fun to watch. But it's very, very odd to see. And so, I think Royals going to take it. I don't know if they'll take the series. It's going to be tough. They have to face Bumgarner one more time, and he just deals. They're not going to beat Bumgarner. He's basically the runner-up to the Cy Young if it wasn't for Kershaw. And so, but we'll see what happens.
Wainwright.
You think Wainwright?
Oh, yeah.
Bumgarner
Right,
deals, Ben.
Let's keep going. I don't care about that. Actually, the biggest snub on any of the awards, Lorenzo Cain not on the Gold Glove for center field.
But Jackie Bradley Jr. was. Let's go Red Sox.
Anyhow, well, Brett, you brought up a good point about AT&T Park being good for the Royals. It has a very deep right center field, which is where Dyson and Kane would be, two of the fastest and guys who can cover the most ground. I mean, if you watch ESPN lately, they've done about 8 sports sciences about how they can cover the whole country if they wanted to. I mean, it's ridiculous. But also, what the Royals are really good at, their power is not. When they hit home runs, they don't hit bombs to center. They just yank one outside. That's almost a foul ball. AT&T Park, it's what, 310, 320 to right field, and it's about 330 to their left field. So the Royals, they can pull a home run. Moustakas that's all. He and Hosmer, they are straight pull hitters when it comes to power. So they pull one home run out. Jay Gutz gives you, he gets you to the 7th, and then it's HDH, Kelvin Herrera, Davis, and Holland, who I still believe Greg Holland doesn't show up to games until like the 5th inning because he'd never pitch.
He just sits with chicken and beer.
I think he just sits in his hotel and if they're on Tuesday when they're getting blown out, he's like, "Yep, I'm not gonna pitch. I'm just gonna go to bed tonight." I mean, why not?
Well, at least he's not like Lincecum who has to throw up before the games.
Who's not playing anymore? Probably. I mean,
we've got a new champion here today. Mr. Brett Dayton-Ivy,
yes!
You are the winner today. You didn't need the extra 2 points, but you got it anyway. The belt has been stripped from Blake McFarland. We'll have to make sure we get you guys back on to see who will be the next champion in our next week's debate. We'll see if we'll get them on. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today with us at 3intheKey. I'm Ben Allen. Make sure to go on Twitter and follow us at 3inKey. And make sure you have a great weekend as well. See you later, guys.